Three Rivers Archery, your longbow and recurve experts.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Karch with Three Rivers Archery. Today we're going to show sharpening the Woodsman Broadhead. Woodsman is a standard 3-blade broadhead. It's got a long, lean design. Nice thing with that is you can hit 2 blades at a time for sharpening. Makes it an incredibly easy broadhead to sharpen. I'm going to go over the tools that we have. I have my hunting arrow with the broadhead on it. I have a broadhead holder with a 12-inch flat file. I have a file cleaning card. Got a jewel stick, a wood-mounted piece of leather, and white gold compound. Also to mention some sharpening lubricant that's used on the file and on the jewel stick to help clean it. But we'll go over all the steps. So, for safety, we take the broadhead off the arrow, put it on the broadhead holder. This makes it easier for you to hold on to it and really be able to work with it. Okay. Take my file. The cleaning card, not a necessity, but this makes it easier. Just keeping it clean, you're getting all the old debris and metal scraps out of there. Usually do it over a trash can. So take the lubricant. What that does, it helps keeping the file from getting clogged up. Now we got our broadhead, and like I said, you can hit 2 blades at one time. You can either run it down that way, straight forward, however you like. I like to go backwards. That way it pulls the burr to the front, makes it easier for cleaning it off later. And then it's just now some tricks are you can take a piece of black marker and put it on both the bevels, and that way when the black marker is gone after working on it, you'll see it because the mark's gone. You see the clean metal, and that's what you're doing with a file. With a new broadhead or a broadhead that's been used for a while, you usually go to the file, or is where you start with the file. If it's a little bit cleaner and you're just touching it up, you can go straight to the jewel stick or a hone, and then end with leather always. You can keep count. I try to keep it even among them. Not incredibly required though, but just work. Just lets you know that you're applying even amount of pressure to everything. Now this is a broadhead that's been shot before. It's one of my personal ones, so probably didn't need to start with the file, but just want to go through all the steps. And remember, you're shaving steel off of this, so the broadhead's weight will adjust with that. You're only talking a few grains depending on how in depth you go on sharpening it, but just something to monitor. I like to clean the file between each head I sharpen. Now we have our jewel stick. This is the stubby, but it depends on what kind of fit or fine grit you want to go with it. I believe this is 1,000 grit. That's usually where I like to be. And here's where I really do count off my strokes to make sure that I'm keeping it nice and even. And usually I'll go, let's say start 5, then I'll go 4, 3, 2, 1, always lightening my pressure as I go. Of course, soon in the video I'll probably miss one, but like I said, not critical that you hit exactly that. It's just the biggest thing is to lighten your pressure as you go, because as you're sharpening that edge, you don't want to be blunting it by applying too much pressure. And towards the end, it's just really the weight of the broadhead and handle. You're just making sure that the pressure is applied evenly across the whole blade. And that's one thing I like with the jewel stick, the stubby here, is since it has a concave edge, if there was a dip, you can get into there and you're still sharpening it. All right. And then to finish it off, now you can do light feels to see how you like the edge. We got a good edge on there. I can feel a burr. Leather strop. Now this can really make a difference in getting a broadhead sharp. And then what I like to use is, it's called white gold. It's a compound. It's got diamonds infused in it. I rub that on the leather. Not required, but that white gold stuff will really step up a broadhead edge. And then you're just pulling that. Now, hopefully don't have to note it, but be careful when you're dealing with broadheads. And then there's a few tests. Some people would try to shave hair with it. I like that method when I'm doing it, for myself, or especially if I'm out in the woods making sure a broadhead at home. There's the rubber band test here, which is where you stretch a rubber band, not crazy stretch, but where it's nice and taut. You run it down it and see there we had a real good edge on one. It's a bit harder. You got to have a few extra rubber bands if you're going to do that. Ooh. There we go. Now with the 3-blade edge, because I have a lot of people say, man, I can sharpen a 3-blade or I'm sorry, a 2-blade or a knife any day of the week, but I just cannot sharpen a 3-blade. And a lot of what I find to it is it's the different angle, the degree angle that the blade is being sharpened to, or the bevel you're putting on it, because it is a wider angle since you're hitting flat there and there. It's not an acute point like that. It's a bit wider. So it's not going to feel the same as a 2-blade, but if you use a test method like trying to shave hair off your arm, or definitely recommend the rubber band method, you will see that it's going to cut incredibly well. Nice thing I like with 2 or 3 blades is I don't have a jig. As you see, I'm doing this all by hand. Since it has that angle, I can have a flat file. So what I take out in the woods with me, what's in my pack, is I have a small 6-inch file and the jewel stick. And I may have, for the pack, like if I'm traveling for a hunt, my pack back home will have all the other gear with it, but what's with me in the woods, so in case I run into an issue or whatnot, granted you always take extra arrows, I can sharpen a broadhead right there on the go without having a jig or anything special for it. So that's a good one. I'm Jonathan Karch with Three Rivers Archery. Thanks for taking the time. Please leave a comment below if you have any questions on sharpening a 3-blade broadhead or sharpening the Woodsman Broadhead. And leave a like or give a share if you really liked what you saw here. We appreciate it. Thanks.